Welcome to RhomanysRealm. I'm Romany, and today I'm working on a secondary location from my urban sketching class. Each week I pull up 3 different locations and the group votes on which one they want to use. And this was the second most popular choice. And the vote was pretty evenly split, so I thought I should do this one as a full video. This location is a bandstand in my local park. And I'm not drawing from a photo reference, I'm drawing from a reference of a video that I took while I was on location. Normally, when I'm on location sketching, I will try to put in something like where we're up to about now as a guide for just getting everything in position, knowing what I want to draw, where I want to position everything, getting the view of the subject that I want. And then if I don't have the option to stay and sketch on location for whatever reason, then I will take a video or some reference photos and I will work on it at home. That's what I did with this bandstand. The reason we're doing that is because my urban sketching class is specifically geared towards people like myself who can't necessarily spend 2 hours sitting on a very uncomfortable cold stone wall drawing on location. The idea that you can sit on location for an hour, 2 hours and just work on a piece of art is quite ableist, in my opinion. And I like to account for the fact that there are people like myself who simply cannot do that on certain days. But that doesn't mean you can't get out, take your own reference photos, take your own videos, get a good basic sketch of what you can see around you, and then go home and work on the details, colour it in, work on the line work, whatever it is that you would like to do. When I'm working on location, I like to try and get in the main areas. I won't necessarily draw in, for instance, this is railings, but I won't necessarily draw in the railings. That's something I can do later. But I will differentiate between the brickwork and something like heavy shadows, where the lightest areas are, where the darkest areas are, and making sure that, for instance, where these 2 posts overlap, I can clearly see which one is in the front and which one is in the background. So all the fundamentals of a sketch on location. And I can put something like that together very, very quickly. It comes with practice. It might take you 20 minutes to begin with. It usually takes me maybe 5 to 10 minutes. And a lot of that is just deciding what I want to draw and how. It's not the actual drawing. So yeah, in the class, we're looking at being able to facilitate urban sketching, even for those people who simply cannot just stand around and draw, sit around and draw, can't be outside for long periods of time or whatever. It's very much geared towards people with disabilities, but also, sometimes it's just time constraints. You want to capture something really fast. You've only got a few minutes to do it. Say if you're stopped at a road stop or a train station or something like that, you just want to catch the essence, and you can work on the smaller details, the shading, the shadows, all that kind of thing from a reference photo or from a video. It's no less capturing the moment. It's just allowing yourself the additional time in comfort to be able to finish your sketch. Now, that doesn't mean that we are necessarily spending hours and hours and hours doing a sketch. As you can see, I'm working very fast, I'm working very loose. I'm not trying to create a beautiful sketch or anything like that. I'm working in 3 colours of ballpoint pen. I started with light green because the structure itself is actually green. Normally I start with yellow. I then moved to yellow to put in other areas of the subject that were not green. And then I'm using 2 colours of green, the orangey yellow. I call it yellow, but it's actually kind of an orangey yellow. It shows up very orange on camera. And then a dark blue later for some additional deeper shadows. I'm literally just layering up colours to create light, medium and dark areas, show where the shadows are, show where the contrast is, and trying to keep the essence of, if I had been able to sit on location for 2 hours, I could have drawn this in the 2 hours. I'm not trying to create a perfect semblance of the bandstand that looks incredibly realistic. I've used my basic sketch that I would normally do on location, and then I've worked from that and from my own reference. So it's a nice way of being able to compromise between the very not strict rules, but the manifesto of urban sketchers is that they sketch on location, and they don't encourage people to spend too much time fussing around with their work afterwards. There are people who use the initial time that they have on location to do the very detailed sketching, and will throw some watercolour on later in like 5 or 10 minutes. And mostly people say that that's okay, but you're not supposed to spend 5 minutes on location and then the next 2 days trying to make a perfect picture. That defeats the whole purpose of it. So we're trying to stay very close to the ethos of urban sketching, that you are in the moment, you are capturing something that is there. And in order to stay with that, I also try to, wherever possible, complete the sketch within 24 hours of the location. Very often, I will sketch the item, I will come home, I will take a little bit of a break, maybe have a nap, have a coffee, and then I will sit down with my sketchbook and I will continue while it's fresh in my head. And often I will not even use my reference photos. I will simply just continue the sketch and work kind of from memory almost. Oh yes, I know that this is here. I know that that was there. I remember this. And then I might look at the reference sketch later on and, just double check, have I missed anything? But for the most part, I like to work from memory. I like to work as much as possible from my original sketch. So getting detail into my original sketch is important. And I don't rule out the opportunity to write down on the sketch what the different items are. So I could have ignored the railings on location and just written on railings so that I know, oh yeah, that's what those will look like. So there you go. There's my completed piece. This was just a quick demonstration, like I say, for the secondary location that we chose. The original location, I included a fluffy duck in one of the pictures, and of course that's the one that won. So you get the bandstand. Sorry. I do have some more videos for these coming, because each week we have 3 locations. And again, in the second week, it was very close. I think there was 1 vote in it between the first and the second location. So I am going to sketch the second location, but I'm trying to get out and do that on location to do the actual basic sketch so I can show you what I've just been talking about. But in the meantime, this is what I did from the reference photo, from the video that I showed you at the beginning. And, it works. It's capturing the bandstand. It was a nice sunny day. I was mostly focused on the underneath of the bandstand and how interesting it was with all the scroll work and stuff, which I added to the picture as well. And there you go. I have a finished piece in my sketchbook now. And I may well go in and add some information in that big space, because the big space is annoying me, about, the date of the bandstand being created, where it's located, and all that sort of thing. So thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you all again very soon. Bye.